In the literal decades I have watched and admired competitive Melee, nothing, and I truly mean nothing, can come close to this past weekend. And look, I know I say stuff like this a lot, but bear with me here. This one is actual, demonstrable, undeniable fact. Because while other tournaments may have eclipsed Don't Park on the Grass 2024 in hype, or in legacy, or in just the sheer Melee, Don't Park was categorically different than any other tournament we have seen in literally 20 years. There were so many different storylines, shocks, and surprises which came from this tournament, all jam-packed into a shorter 2-day weekend, but today we're going to talk about the one thing that made this tournament so undeniable in the history books. Because for once, it wasn't about the legacy players, the ones I've already made plenty of videos about on this channel, the players we've seen before. Instead, it was players who had never been there before. Ever. What's up YouTube, it's your favorite Into the AM sponsored gamer, me, rotated downwards for Walter, here to tell you about today's sponsor. You already know it's Into the AM. Oh my god, that felt terrible. Are people actually like this? Okay, anyway, thank you once again to my good friends at Into the AM for sponsoring today's video. If you've been watching my channel for a bit, you know that Into the AM is my longest standing partnership, and I truly do love their products. They've been around since 2012 making mostly graphic tees, but have since expanded into casual and formal wear, athleisure, and even dropped a dope fall collection this year, which I've been wearing as the weather cools off. Into the AM is having their biggest sale of the year for up to 60% off site-wide starting November 13th, so it's a great time to get some products for yourself or for others as holiday gifts. I personally love the Daybreak Performance jacket and joggers combo, and I've been wearing them pretty much every time I travel for event work. Anyway, if you're interested and want to take advantage of the massive discounts coming your way, you can get another 10% off if you use my discount code WALT at checkout or go to intotheam.com/WALT. This is a bit of a mandatory note I include in these sponsor segments, but that link does afford me a small commission and kind of allows me to keep getting these sponsorships, so if you do end up picking up some clothes for yourself, I'll get a small kickback, and also thanks for considering it. Thank you as always to Into the AM for supporting me and the channel, and I hope you enjoy today's video. Just looking at the event itself, it was clear from the attendance that this was going to be stacked. Basically everyone you could have asked for was here. Over 30 players ranked in the most recent SSBM Summer 2024 Top 50 made an appearance, including rare appearances from European players as well as Nouns flying out 2 players from Asia. Included in these attendees also featured a large swath of old heads and relatively inactive players. The rare Leffen appeared, making this only his 3rd major attended in 2024, but in addition to him, we got seldom appearing heavy hitters like Lod, Slug, Swedish Delight, and Shroomed. The only real unfortunate misses from this bracket were Mango, who didn't attend, and Plup, who had to DQ, but aside from that, it was quite literally all hitters. Zane, Cody, Amsa, Jmook, Hungrybox, Wizrobe, Leffen, and Axe were all on the very short list of players in Melee history who had won a major in the past, and they were all here this weekend. And yet, not a single one of these players would win. In fact, by the time we did reach top 4, something had become very clear. History was going to be made. Don't Park on the Grass 2024 was the first time in over 20 years where a tournament's top 4 had no major winners in it. And you may be thinking, well, yeah, the first ever tournament probably didn't have any major winners in it since competition didn't exist yet. And yes, Tournament Go 4 was technically the first time this had ever happened because it was the first major ever, but actually the last time it had happened was at Tournament Go 6 in 2004. Where its top 4 of Azin, Captain Jack, Chudat, and Sastifer had never won a major before. But here, over 20 years later, we had a true history-defining moment. For the first time since Genesis 9, a brand new major tournament winner would be crowned. And just to really drive home how insane of an achievement that is, in Melee's close to 25-year competitive history, only around 20 people total have won what is classified as a major tournament. We consider a lot of players as major winning contenders, but it turns out actually getting the gold medal is an entirely different story. Remember those 8 players I mentioned who had all won a major before this weekend? Well, only 3 of them made it to top 8, and not a single one of them made it into this top 4. There were 4 major storylines that all collided within this top 4 of Don't Park on the Grass, each of which could have been the biggest story at any other event that had happened in this year. Competing for their first major win ever, we had Aklo, Moky, Joshman, and Nicki, which, for another first, was the first ever major where the top 4 consisted of players all coming from different countries. Moky from Canada, Aklo from the US, Nicki from Germany, and Joshman from Australia. Of these 4, Aklo and Moky were definitely the frontrunners in terms of who was considered next up to win a major. For Moky, multiple commentators, myself included, had said it was less of an if and more of a when, and for Aklo, he had placed second at his last 2 major showings just in this year alone. Joshman and Nicki were perhaps a bit less likely to take a major win here, not to say that they couldn't, but only for the fact that they were facing off against each other in losers for 4th. And they also just had a little less experience at this phase of events under their belts, and a lot more in Nicki's case, but we'll get to that in a second. Joshman, the phenom from Australia, made history at GOML 2022 by becoming the first ever Australian player to make a top 8 at a Melee major, and Nicki was currently in his first major top 8 ever. But like I said before, one of these two was going to have to exit the tournament at 4th, and it actually ended up being the perhaps more veteran Joshman. How the Australian was able to get here though was also rather unique in its own right. On Josh's path to 4th, he had first beaten Lod, and then had a close encounter with Zamu which went the 5-game distance. After being knocked into losers by Aklo, Joshman clocked another huge win over Jmook, a favorite for top 8 off of a reverse 3-0 to take him out at 9th, then defeated SDJ to guarantee a 5th place minimum. SDJ, by the way, had an unbelievable run to make it here, getting a reverse 3-0 on Wizrobe, which, given how experienced Wizrobe is versus Jigglypuff, was honestly one of the most impressive sets of the entire tournament. This means SDJ now has 4 top 15 wins and has more or less become a lock for top 20 come the end of the year rankings. Anyway though, after this set, Josh had to next play against a familiar face, and it wasn't exactly a happy one. Dread it, run from it, it was Hungrybox, a player who Joshman faced off against in 8 sets spanning over the past 2 years. In fact, of the 9 majors Joshman entered this year before Don't Park, he faced Hungrybox at 5 of them. Well, I should say, lost to Hungrybox at 5 of them, because despite several closer than close calls, he is 0-8 versus Hungrybox lifetime. Or was 0-8 is what I should say, because here, in under 5 games, Joshman finally did it, securing himself a second top 4 since that famous GOML 2022.
He went for the nearest jab! Oh! Oh no!
Oh my god.
Grab! Too high. Fights it back here! Josh takes it over Xbox!
Okay.
Wow!
Just finds him up there.
A long time coming.
Okay. I don't know, man. I felt like it was slipping.
Me too! How many times, dude?
That following set for 4th place would be up against Nicki, which was their first set ever against each other, as well as possibly one of the first times we've seen Australia versus Germany in such a high-profile match. This one also took 4 games, but Nicki ended up eliminating Joshman from Don't Park on the Grass, leaving him up against 2 of the new age foxes who were both hungry for the crown. Nicki's appearance in top 4 was truly a wild development, given that this was his first time he had ever even made a top 8 at a major, let alone top 4, but avid fans of the game had seen this come up from a mile away. Nicki, hailing from Germany, proved his status as a rising star just a few months ago at the Eggdog Invitational. There, he placed 9th, about middle of the pack given the Invitational's 16 total players, but when you take a closer look at who he played, beat, and almost beat, I think that tells an entirely different story. Nicki was in the same pool as Hungrybox and Amsa, both of whom he took to Game 5, and in the actual Eggdog Invitational bracket, he beat Wizrobe 3-1, which is a crazy upset. But Nicki is also no stranger to heartbreaking close losses. Just earlier this year at Collision 2024, he suffered another Game 5 trip-up against Zayn. So with that context in mind, it shouldn't come as that much of a surprise to see Nicki finally get his breakout tournament. Here, Nicki started his winners bracket by first upsetting Jmook 3-2, who, granted, played Zelda for the entire set. After falling to SDJ, Nicki then beat Aura, Swedish Delight, and Axe before taking the 2 biggest wins in his career as well as the upsets of the tournament, back-to-back. A 3-1 win over 2023's Rank 1 Cody Schwab, and a 3-0 win over 2024 Summer's Rank 1 Zayn. The Aura and Swedish Delight wins, by the way, were both against Peach, which was the first time an Icy's player had beaten a top-level Peach in what felt like forever. So, to recap, without wobbling, and in best of 5 sets, mind you, an Ice Climbers player had beaten the 3 best players of 2023. This enters Nicki into the pantheon of some of the greatest Ice Climbers runs of all time, and it wasn't even the end of his day yet. After that following win over Joshman, Nicki was finally eliminated from Dome Park by Aklo, leaving Nicki with a bronze medal and one of the highest placements an Ice Climbers player had ever gotten at a major. Here, Nicki joins Wobble's 2nd place at EVO 2013, Fly Amanita's 2nd place at Press Start in 2015, Chudat's 1st place at Pound 2 in 2007, and Slug's 4th at the Ludwig Smash Invitational in 2022. And just as one final note, if Nicki were to have won this set versus Aklo, it would have added just another bullet point of history-defining things to happen this weekend, as he would have overtaken Jmook at Genesis 8 as the lowest ever seed to make it into grand finals at a major tournament. This entire tournament run happened, by the way, while Nicki literally lost his housing in the middle of the tournament. Nicki has honestly become, in my opinion, one of the most entertaining mid-tier players we've gotten to see since AMSA, and that comes during a time where characters like Donkey Kong are taking wild upset wins left and right.
Okay, careful. Ooh, a little late there. He could have hit him
my God.
on the wake up.
Wispy,
No!
Wispy helping Zayn out.
He has no juice!
No, he's gone!
dead!
He's gone! 3-0 and a handshake! What is this tournament on, bro?
With the nice back air sweater too. He's like, it was written on me the whole time.
That's right, I foreshadowed it. I manifested it.
Oh my God. This is what you wanted, Aiden. Your international horror story.
Goodness.
And hey, by the way, I know there's a lot more crazy stuff at this tournament than just this top 4, but I'm trying to keep this video relatively streamlined, so if you want to chat about the other stuff in the comments, please feel free to do so. Also, if you've been enjoying my content and you've made it this far into the video, it would really mean a lot to me if you subscribed. I work really hard on these videos, and a lot of people watch them without ever realizing that they aren't subscribed. And like I kind of alluded to at the start of this video, doing stuff like this in a relatively timely fashion takes a lot of time and effort, so if you want to support me and help make more videos like these possible, I would really appreciate that. If you did just subscribe, thank you so much, and the good thing is you will not regret it, because somehow this tournament broke even more records. So that now brings us to our top 2 for Dome Park on the Grass, Aklo and Moky. While we know Aklo was the one to make it to grand finals on the loser's side, how he got here was an interesting path. The biggest storyline for Aklo's winner's side path was his rematch against Zayn, the current #1 player in the world, who Aklo had most recently beaten at Luminosity Makes Moves Miami, with Link. Although he didn't end up winning this tournament, ultimately getting reset in grands by Zayn, that first victory ended an over 10-set losing streak dating back all the way to 2021. Given Zayn's propensity for adapting and practicing a matchup after taking a loss, especially with the understanding that Zayn immediately won his following 2 sets against Aklo at Miami, it was expected for the download to be complete. But shockingly, Aklo churned out yet another mid-tier win with a 3-1 over Melee's current best, once again going all Link. This ultimately led to the mid-tier 1-2 punch of Aklo into Nicki, which, as we said before, was a destructive 3-0 in Nicki's favor, leading Zayn, the best player in the world, to be out of the tournament at 5th place.
Yeah, that just might be
that's
it.
Oh,
no. Okay. But still.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that was your opening. One more from Aklo.
Okay, Aklo.
And there it is.
They're 3-1.
Aklo making his way to winners finals.
Man, we got #2 player losing to ICs. We got the #1 player losing to Link.
Yeah, what's happening in 2024
Hey, I stand
Melee?
corrected, Aklo. I don't know, man. Just keep playing Link, bro. Go crazy.
Aklo's repeat win against Zayn here was short-lived though, as his next set versus Moky would send the New Yorker down into the loser's bracket. From there, Aklo didn't have to go far though, only needing that single set win versus Nicki to face off against Moky in the run back.
Oh, 73. Oh, dude. They're a little bit separated. Not as dead, I think.
Nana, wake up! Do something! Another
Oh, if you get that drill, that's it!
No way!
No way!
Falls through the platform up air,
Dude.
flies up Popo, and Nicki's run ends with 3rd at Dome Park.
3rd place. Man, I thought, I'm not gonna lie to you, I thought we were getting a top 5.
Dude.
Game 5.
Whole crowd going crazy.
Damn, man. What a set. Every single one of those games, especially games 3 and 4, I was so sure that one of them was gonna win the game, and then I was wrong.
Moky's path to Grands, while arriving from the winner's side, was honestly a bit more tumultuous than Aklo's. Before playing Aklo in winners finals, he had 3 back-to-back-to-back Game 5 scares. First playing against Triff, it had already seemed like we might have needed a loser's run from Moky, as he had lost his last 2 bouts versus the newly top 10 ranked Spaniard at the Eggdog Invitational. However, Moky was able to barely scrape out a win here in a last stock, last hit scenario, next having to play against 2023's rank 1 Cody Schwab. As noted by Moky himself following this set, these two seem to have the most coin flip matches, with the lifetime head-to-head narrowly in Moky's favor. They traded sets at Eggdog, and Cody got the better of him at Collision earlier in the year, but this set was a last stock, what appeared to be an accidental Doraki input into Miss Ledge Dash, which caused Cody to have one of the most unfortunate SDs in recent memory. Regardless though, Moky would then advance onto his final match in this difficult gauntlet, this time against Hungrybox, another player he's traded sets with over the years. In 2024, these two were even at 2 sets apiece, with Moky winning at Gommel and Wavelength, and HBox winning at Collision and Tipped Off 15, but once again, after 5 games, Moky came out on top.
Oh my god, the dash dance coming from Moky.
Oh my goodness.
No, you're gonna land on Fox like that? Up smash is right there.
He gotta take a risk. Oh, oh, and there it goes. And
Moky was the one charging the pop-off this time.
Winner's side.
And as previously mentioned, 3-1 win over Aklo would secure Moky's place in Grand Finals on the winner's side, his first ever appearance in a Grand Finals at a major of this caliber. With Aklo returning to Grands from the loser's side, this would make for the first Grand Finals since Smash Summit 13 in 2022 to be a Fox Ditto all the way through. And regardless of the outcome, this would once again mark down a brand new major tournament champion. Aklo, who had placed second at his last 2 major appearances, versus Moky, who hadn't been given a chance at top 2 at a major until now, who could become the first Canadian to win a major. As Cody had mentioned before this set, this also wrote out another storyline of 2 players regarded as some of the best in the game who have not yet won a major, both playing the same character down to the same color palette, who are about as close as can be in terms of end-of-year rankings. It really doesn't get much better than this. And after only a single set, a 3-1 win crowned Moky the champion of Don't Park on the Grass 2024, making him the 10th player to win a major, the 6th player to win a super major, and the 11th player to make Grand Finals of any major post-pandemic.
Beautiful
Oh,
ball! Beautiful
yes.
follow-up.
Yeah, that's like the best thing you can do there is that wave land.
Especially after getting the shield timing, the wave land, or the wave dash out of shield, everything. 2 up kills. Aklo staying in the game.
Great technique, dude. Awesome follow-ups from Aklo. Oh my
What's
god.
the recovery? What's the mix?
I mean, the perfect stock so far from Aklo. Gives Moky the ledge.
He's playing it safe. He's going back to his base animal instincts.
Moky went for back throw.
Nice shine.
He went for the nair. Aklo just full jumps over it. He's out. Oh, that's a big opening.
No way.
Oh,
you're in trouble.
Oh my god.
Oh, no jump.
No jump. Ledge.
He finds it.
He calls it out.
There it is. Moky takes it.
Moky finally brings one home.
A massive pop off. Don't Park on the Grass 2024.
That was like years of like, I fucking earned one of these, bro.
He's been trying for so long. So many close calls.
So many close calls. Just like a crazy, just the weirdest, most unpredictable. Nobody could have designed this fantasy bracket. And Moky just resolutely through winners, doesn't drop one. And finally the pieces just come together and brings it home and breaks through.
No, I feel like this has been a funny year because I feel like, I don't know, it's been hard for me to have motivation because I've always been like motivated by such negative stuff. And now I'm like, I feel like I've gotten past it. Like I don't care about rankings. I don't care about what people are talking about me. Like I've just existed in my own lane a lot more, you know?
More than 20 years after the beginning of competitive Melee delivered even more groundbreaking firsts by the hands of Moky, a player who has reached unbelievable highs, upsetting lows, and many wacky days of challenges on his YouTube channel in an attempt to get 100 wins in a row. Every single person he had played in this top 64 bracket, Aura, Triff, Cody, Hungrybox, and Aklo, were all players who had beaten Moky the last time they played, further driving home this event full of unprecedented circumstances. He may not have taken down his biggest bracket demon in Zane, but anybody calling this a Mickey Mouse Major simply isn't paying attention to the murderer's row of former demons Moky had to take down to get here. In speaking with friends after this tournament as well, we mentioned how fitting it actually was for Moky's first win to be in this historic circumstance. We've all been saying not if, when for a while now, but for a second there, it looked like Moky might get skipped over by someone behind him in line, like Aklo or Joshman or Nicki. It's appropriate then that he won a major at its most wide open, proving that he's at a higher caliber than the rest of the field, and that he belongs in the conversation with the most elite members of this game. It had taken Moky 47 days to win 100 games in a row, but I don't think anything will feel better than this history-making achievement. Congratulations to Moky, no longer the best player to have not won a major, instead the 22nd person in Melee history to win one. My good friend Edwin Budding worded it very well in his recent column, saying, "There was a point in time where I thought Press Start would forever hold the title for the most unexpected events ever. After all, how can you get any wilder than a tournament around the time of the Five Gods, where none of the attending namesake players were initially in the winner's side of the top 8? It doesn't take a genius to tell you Zane will win. That's not why people watch events. We do it because we love the game. Despite how much you may think you know about Melee, it has a way of leaving you breathless when you least expect it." Watching Moky finally get his W, Joshman make another mind-boggling run for Australia, Aklo solidify his place amongst the top brass, and Nicki make one of the craziest Cinderella runs of the year, in a 2024 where players like Zane and Cody have dominated so hard, made Don't Park on the Grass 2024 one of the most insane tournaments in modern Melee. Any of these individual players' runs would have been the main story of the event practically anywhere else, but the fact that it all came together all at once at one of the final major events of 2024 is nothing short of magical. When such an oddly specific set of circumstances hadn't been met since close to the onset of competitive Melee, that right there is why we keep coming back to this game. Because even after 20 years, Melee still finds a way to make history. Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you happen to be looking at a calendar, you can probably tell that this video had to come together very quickly, so if you could do me a favor and interact with it in some way, that'll make my lack of sleep all the more worthwhile. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I would like to do at least 1 to 2 more videos from this tournament if I can, probably one on Nicki's run and one on Moky's first major win, so let me know in the comments if you want to see either or both of those. Thanks to all of my patrons, by the way, who help make videos like these possible, especially Avishua Bobby Wasabi, Bold Italics, Eric is Cool, and NNG Esports. Let me know what you think about the video, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. I don't think I've formally said thanks for 100K in a video at least, but that was such a huge milestone that I seriously never thought I would reach, so it really does mean a lot to me and makes me confident that we can go even higher. Alright, that's it. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.